Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Freeman Gosden, Charles Correll, an episode of Amos-n-Andy from December 9th, 1951, and Andy's gonna get married. Oh, what could go wrong with that? Well, depends on who gets an invitation.
Andy, you know what that music say?
Yes, sir, Amos. That music say good health to all from Rexall.
The Amos-n-Andy Show, written by Joe Conley and Bob Mosier, featuring Johnny Lee, Millie Bruce, Corny Anderson, Horace Stewart, Madeline Lee, Ruby Dandridge, Lillian Randolph, Jeff Alexander's music, yours truly, Harlow Wilcox, and starring radio's all-time favorites, Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll. Amos-n-Andy. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Freeman Gosden. You know, you can pretty well judge the quality of a product by how far the manufacturer will go in backing it up. That's why I like to keep reminding you listeners that Rexall drug products are sold under a money-back guarantee. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, every Rexall drug product must give you the satisfaction you want, or you can return it to your Rexall druggist and get your money back. Well, our friend Andrew H. Brown recently decided to improve himself. He went down to the local high school to sign up for the evening adult education program. At the moment, he has just entered a classroom on the third floor and approached the instructor.
Excuse me, I'd like to enroll in one of the courses. What subject does you teach here?
Well, in this classroom, we give instructions in American history.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be interested in history. I wouldn't care. I don't want to... hello.
How do you do? I'm Theresa Thompkins, the instructor.
Yeah, well, my name is Andrew H. Brown. And you know something? You is the prettiest history teacher I done ever seen.
I take it you're interested in the course. I have my enrollment list here on the desk. Now, before I write your name down, are there any questions?
Yeah. Is you married?
Why, no.
Is you engaged?
No, I'm not.
Could I arrange for private instruction?
Well, come on in the office, Andy. What's this to hear about you going to night school, soaking your feet in the fountain of knowledge, huh?
Yeah. I really been learning about history for the past 2 weeks. Kingfish, do you know that in 1812, the British come over here, burned down the White House, and driv the president and his family right out of the place?
They did, huh?
Sure did.
You know, if the Republicans is going to get any place this time, it look like their best bet is to get in touch with the British again.
But Kingfish, the best part about that night school is the teacher.
Got yourself crushed up on her, huh, boy?
I'll say. Her name is Theresa Thompkins, and I is really crazy about her. Confidential, I ain't told this to nobody else, but I'm planning on popping the question to Theresa tonight.
Oh, you really in a nuptialating frame of mind, huh?
Yes, sir. The only trouble is, after I pop the question to her, I gotta pop it to her papa.
Is the old man strict, huh?
Yeah, she is his only child, and he is mighty particular. He calls her his sweet little Rose.
Yeah, well, looking at you there, son, I can see why he wouldn't want his Rose mixed up with no big fat ifus like you.
Yeah, well, I hope the papa don't throw me out the house. Theresa gonna try to soften him up before I gets there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, have her soften him up first.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Andy, I'll never forget the night 22 years ago when I had a little heart-to-heart talk with Sapphire's papa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going with her, but I Didn't have much thought of marrying her. And then one night I found myself on my knees in front of a papa pleading with him to let me marry her.
Yeah, well, why was you down on your knees in front of a papa?
I couldn't help it, Sapphire. I had a half Nelson on me. Oh,
But, Father, don't you understand? I love Andy Brown. You've got to let me marry him.
Teresa, I can't help it. I don't think that nincompoop is the right man for you. Why, he's nothing but an overstuffed loafer.
I admit he's a little fat and doesn't have a job right now, but
I have never met such a completely stupid, irresponsible boob of a man in my life. He's nothing but a big fat slob, and what's more, I don't believe he loves you.
Daddy, I know he loves me.
Well, I say he doesn't. Why don't you ask him if he loves you? Put it up to him once and for all.
All right, I will. Andy, do you love me?
Of course I does, honey.
Well, if my daughter's mind is made up, it's all right with me. But, Brown, let me tell you one thing. If I find that you've had a lot of women in the string before you met my daughter, you'll live to regret it. Now I'm going to my study.
Oh, Andy, don't pay any attention to Father. It's enough that we love each other. But it's not true what Father said. You've never gone out with any other girls but me, have you?
Who, me? I never had nothing to do with girls. Up to the time I was 19, I thought that gals were just boys with long haircuts.
I'm so glad. I like you so much, Andy.
Yeah, and I was crazy about you, too, my honey bun.
Oh, Andy, I just love to sit here and cuddle up to you. Let me put my head on your shoulder. There.
Yeah.
Now let me give you a great big squeeze. Oh-wee. Oh. Why, Andy, you're ticklish.
No, I ain't. You was squeezing my fountain pen and the ink is leaking down my rib.
Oh, Hugh, come on in, Andy. Come on in. How's the boy?
Kingfish, me and Teresa's engaged. Her papa done snared his permission at me. The wedding is set for a week from today.
Yeah, well, you're really happy, boy, and you're lucky getting a cute little gal like Teresa.
Yeah.
But in marriage, sometimes it ain't too long before the sweet little cucumber turns out to be a sour pickle. Of course, it was different in my case. Sapphire was pretty well vinegared up by the time I got a hold of her. Say, what has you got there, son?
Oh, this. I got the wedding invitations to send out to my friends. Look at there. Mr. Arthur J. Thompkins announces the marriage of his daughter Teresa to Andrew H. Brown, Esquire.
Yeah, I got a stack of them there. Well, tell me something there, son. Is Teresa, Papa, got any inkling about all the gals you done been out with in the past?
No, he ain't got an inkle. I told him I done never looked at another gal.
That's quite a statement. According to that, you must have done a lot of smooching with your eyes closed.
Yeah, well, I ain't taking no chances of Teresa and her papa finding out. I even brung my little black book down here. I'm going to burn this thing.
Yeah.
Look at that, Kingfish. That's got the name and address of every gal I ever went with.
Holy smokes, look at that. 82 pages of gals. I don't know how you done it, Andy, unless you used the 2-platoon system. Oh, Andy. Yeah, look at this in the book here. Here's one of your old flames, Miss Blue.
Yeah, buzz me, Miss Blue.
Yeah, you two was a powerful item there, all right. Boy, there's one gal that'd like to get her claws on you again, the way you left her waiting at the altar. Oh, here's another nasty item. Abigail Simpson.
Yeah, she sued me for alienation of confections. She swore she'd make trouble for me someday.
Yeah, I'd say that most of the gals in this book has got it in for you, Andy. If any of them ever run into Teresa or Papa, it'd be curtains for you, boy.
Yeah, well, I'm going to burn this black book, and then I'm going to get these invitations mailed out. You see, I got the names and addresses of all the Lodge brothers and my friends in my address book here. This little red book, see?
Yeah, well, say, why don't you send the invitation and the address book down to the public stenographer on the corner? She'll mail the thing out for you. Say, Lightnin's out getting coffee. You can have him do it when he get back.
Yeah, that's right. And I can have him burn this little black book at the same time.
Yeah, well, Andy, at last you're going to sniff the orange blossoms, huh? I tell you, Andy, marriage is a great thing. Instituted for the happiness of mankind, designed for the mutual understanding where two people can live together in harmony and bliss. And I tell you, Andy, someday they're going to figure out a way to make that thing work, you know that?
Now, has you got that straight, Lightnin?
Yeah, Miss Andy.
Well, now, you burn the little black book, and then you take the red book, address book, down to the public stenographer on the corner.
Yeah, I got both books right here. I'll get busy on it right away. Now, let me see now. Whoa, what did Miss Andy tell me? Oh, yeah. I take this little red book down to the basement and I burn it. Then I take the other one over to the stenographer and has her send a wedding invitation to every name in the little black book.
Uh-oh, Lightnin's gonna cause a mess. December 9th, 1951, Amos-n-Andy here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Amos-n-Andy from December 9th, 1951.
Well, come on in the office, Andy. Only 2 more days till your wedding, huh?
Yeah, Lightnin say he got all invitations mailed out. All the peoples must have got them by now.
Yeah, say, Andy, hey, look at down on my desk.
What?
One of the brothers done left a book on it. One of them little black books.
Oh, yeah. I think that hey, Kingfish. All of a sudden, I feels the way I did back home when I turned the sheets down on my bed and found that rattlesnake curled up on my hot water bottle.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, this is just a coincidence. Don't touch the book now. Wait a minute. There's a million little black books. Don't get nervous. Don't grab it there now. Don't even touch it. I'll settle the whole thing. This just happens to look like the one that Lightnin burned. Let me buzz him on the intercom here and put your mind at ease.
Yeah, buzz something around here.
Yeah, Mr. Kingfish?
Lightnin, you burned the book that Andy told you about, didn't you?
That's right.
Then you took the other book down to the public stenographer and she mailed the invitations out?
That's right. And then I put the book that the stenographer used back on your desk.
Yeah, thank you. See that, Andy? Lightnin say he burnt the black book and he put the red book here on the desk.
Yeah, this book laying here is the red book, huh?
That's right.
That is the blackest red book I done ever seen.
Yeah.
Kingfish, Lightnin mixed the books up. They done sent a wedding invitation to every one of my old gal friends. Boy, they'll be swarming all over me. Oh, me, wait till Theresa and her papa find out about this.
Now, wait a minute, Andy, wait a minute. Now, maybe none of them will show up.
Oh, me, Kingfish, I wish I'd have got in bed with that rattlesnake.
No, now, wait a minute.
Well, daughter, this is one of our last evenings together before your wedding.
Yes, and Daddy, I'm so happy that you like Andy now.
Well, I didn't at first, but... Oh, I'll get it, dear. Yes? What can I do for you?
My name is Miss Blue.
Yes. Well, what is it?
Well, I received this card announcing the coming marriage of your daughter.
Yes?
Mr. Andrew H. Brown jilted me 7 years ago.
Miss Blue, I think you better come in and sit down. Miss Blue, this story you've told me is shocking.
Well, that's the whole story, Mr. Thompkins. He made violent love to me and then left me at the altar. I'm flying back home tonight. I just come up here to tell you about this horrible man.
Oh, Daddy, this is terrible. What are we going to do?
You get Miss Blue another handkerchief. I'm going over and have a heart-to-heart talk with Andrew H. Brown.
Now, listen, Andy, stop pacing up and down the floor here. You're wearing out the carpet.
Oh, Kingfish, I'm half out of my mind. Suppose these old gal friends of mine gets the idea coming up here. Suppose that... Hey, Kingfish, I think somebody's at the door.
Yeah, that certainly is a nasty knock, all right. Must be the landlord. Yeah, that's a dispossessed knock if I ever heard one. Yeah, better let him in, Andy.
Okay.
Brown, I want to talk to you.
Oh, how is you, Papa dear?
Don't you Papa dear me. I just had a visit from a Miss Blue.
Well, Miss Blue. Well,
Brown, she told me all about you. She was your secretary for 4 years, 1940 to 1944. How you jilted her, and you said you'd never looked at another woman.
Well, now, wait a minute, Mr. Tompkins. Before you goes on here, it's my duty to inform you that Miss Blue done accused the innocent man here.
Oh, did she drag somebody else into this mess?
No. You see, and in 1940 to 1944 was the years you done spent in Australia.
They was?
He was in Australia?
Oh, certainly, yeah. He spent the whole war cruising around the Australian veldt on a flat top. Yeah, he was wounded, too. Come back with a purple Anzac. Oh, yeah.
That's right. I was down there, all right.
Are you telling the truth here?
Oh, certainly, yeah, sir. He sent us souvenirs and everything. Sent us 2 boomerangs and a kangaroo. Yeah, we used to keep the kangaroo around the office here, but he got excited the day of the MacArthur parade and jumped out the window. As we see him, he was hopping down Fifth Avenue in a shower of ticker tape.
Now, see here. This Miss Blue distinctly said that the man who jilted her was Andrew H. Brown. Now, how do you explain that?
Well, now, that's what you say. Well, now I see. Now I see the thing. I see it as clear as day.
Yeah. Where are you looking, Kingfish?
You see, Mother Thompkins, here in town, there's 2 Andrew H. Brown. And she was referring to Notorious Brown. Or this boy here is Innocent Brown. She done mistakenly identified the wrong boy. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, the whole thing is just a mistake. That's what it is.
Well, if Brown was in Australia with the armed forces, I guess it must have been this other fellow.
Oh, yeah, sir.
It's a common name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I acted so hastily.
Yeah, well, you ain't got to apologize, Mr. Tompkins.
Well, I better get back and explain this to Theresa. She's terribly upset.
Yeah, well, so long, Papa-in-law, dear, and happy Anzac to you.
Yeah.
That's right, Theresa. It was all a mistake. This Miss Blue had the wrong Andrew H. Brown.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so glad. I just knew it wasn't.
Oh, I'll get it. Yes, something I can do for you?
Are you Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Well, my name is Abigail Simpson. I come up from Alabama to talk to you about Andrew H. Brown. Why, what that man done to me. I tell you, he broke my heart. Why,
Hey, just a minute. What does this Andrew Brown look like?
He's a big, fat loafer that smokes a cigar and wears a derby.
Miss Simpson, I think you better come in and sit down.
Well, Kingfish, I gotta hand it to you. You sure thunk fast on your feet when Mr. Tompkins come in here about that Miss Blue.
Oh, yeah, and the old Kingfish, you gotta hand it to me, boy. I got a mind like a pistol. Oh, I tell you. Someone knocking on the door again.
Yeah, and from the sound of that knock, I hope the pistol is loaded.
Brown, I want to talk to you.
Oh, hello again, Papa dear.
Brown, this time I've got you dead to rights. Another woman just left my place, Miss Abigail Simpson.
Yeah, well, like we explained to you, Mr. Tompkins, there's 2 Andy Browns, the Notorious Brown and the Innocent Brown.
There's no mistake this time. The Andrew Brown she referred to is the big fat fellow who wears a derby and smokes a cigar. Now explain that.
Well, now, you see, when I explained to you about the Notorious Brown, I forgot to explain to you that you also an impersonator.
An impersonator?
Yeah, you see, he go around wearing derby and cigar with a pillow under his belt. Yeah, doing all these terrible things, and then poor Innocent Brown here get blamed for him. That's what he do.
He's a mean fellow, all right. He really is.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to believe this for my daughter's sake, but I
tell Mr. Tompkins, how could you accuse poor Innocent Brown? Now, just look at that face.
Yeah, look at that thing.
I ask you, is there guile written on that face? Is there dishonesty written on that face? Is there deceit written on that face? No, sir. There ain't nothing written on there. That is one of the blankest faces you don't ever see.
Oh, me, Amos, what a day this has been. I was almost too nervous to go home.
And from what you've been telling me, the worst is over, though, boy. You and the Kingfish done gotten Mr. Tompkins calmed down. Now, take it easy, Andy, and go on and get some supper. The wedding is tomorrow. Everything's fine. Come on, Andy, I'll go with you.
Yeah, all right. Hey, wait a minute, Amos. Look out the window there. Look on the front steps of the lodge hall there.
Yeah, there appears to be a woman. Look at that hat and that feather bow. That's a strange-looking human being in it.
Yeah, look at there. She just stepped into the light. Holy mackerel, Amos. The worst ain't over. That ain't no human being. That is Madam Queen.
No!
Oy vey, of all people, Madam Queen, December 9th, 1951, Amos-n-Andy. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these words. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion, maybe in more ways than one, of Amos-n-Andy and Andy's wedding plans, December 9th, 1951.
Yeah, that's the whole story, Calhoun. The boy is in a mess.
Yeah, if Madam Queen go to Mr. Thompkins, we is ruined.
Yeah, this is a mess. Because you has got a factor in this situation named Madam Queen.
Yeah.
And that is the nastiest big factor you could ever run into.
Now, look here. Look how is the boy, though, going to keep Madam Queen from talking to Theresa and her papa?
Now, look, the thing to do is be firm with her. Find out where she's staying and go up there and tell her if she go to Mr. Thompkins, you're going to make trouble for her. Big trouble.
Yeah, but Madam Queen ain't the type that scares easy. But I guess it's our only chance. Try to talk her out of it, huh?
Yeah, but you got to be aggressive. You got to pound on the table like this. You got to rant, and you got to roll. You got to tell her that you was finished with her. You got to reiterate that you never want to see her again. You got to pound on the table, and you got to reiterate, oh.
What is the trouble, Calhoun?
Help me to the couch, boys. I done reiterated my sacroiliac out of joint.
Well, Andy, this is where Madam Queen is staying at Lennox Gardens.
Oh, me, Kingfish, I was nervous. Madam Queen, you know, really had a grip on me once.
Yeah, you got to be firm now. Here's the room, Andy. 312, I'll knock.
Oh, me. Been 10 years or more since I seen her. Maybe she won't even recognize me.
Now, listen, Andy, she probably been sitting out there in Chicago all these years with her heart just being eaten away for you.
Yes, what is it? What do you want?
Holy mackerel, whatever been eating at her heart must have been nibbling at her face, too.
Wait a minute. Who is this here? Let me look through my lognetic. Why, it's Andy Brown. Why, you no good two-time chiseling loaf of a man.
Now, look here, Andy. She do remember you, boy.
And who is this with you? Why, it's George Stevens' old knucklehead.
She remembers you, too, Kingfish.
Well, so much for the sweet nostalgia of the occasion. Madam Queen, me and the boy here has come up to talk with you.
Well, come on in the apartment.
Go ahead, Madam Queen. We'll waddle in after you.
Well, what does you two want to see me about?
Now, see here, Madam Queen, I'm going to be firm with you. If you come up here to break up this boy's wedding, you ain't got no hold on him.
No hold on him? Do you realize that 10 years ago this nincompoop done proposed to me? He done jilted me, he lied to me, he cheated and he swindled me.
See here, Madam Queen, I just wants to say...
What does you want to say, knucklehead?
Well, I just want to say that I don't think he should have done it. That's what I want.
Listen, Madam Queen, please don't go to Mr. Thompkins. After all, let bygones be bygones. We don't like each other no more.
Don't like you? I despise you. You never was no good. I never will forget the time you broke your leg and I put you in the hospital and hired 2 trained nurses. The next thing I knew, you was 2-timing me on both shifts.
I remember when I was in the hospital there. Yeah, you used to bring me hot soup.
Yeah, like a fool, I used to sit there and feed it to you out of a spoon.
Yeah. And you used to call me your big teddy bear.
You used to call me your itty-bitty gumdrop. I sure made a fool out of myself over you.
You made a fool of yourself, huh? Well, I wasn't the only one you made goo-goo eyes at. I never could trust you.
Yeah, that's what Andy told me.
What is you talking about?
Well, look at the time that you and me went to my poor old Uncle William's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
While I was standing there weeping in the grave, you was behind a hearse holding hands with one of the pallbearers.
I forgot about that. You sure was jealous, wasn't you?
Yeah, well, I had a right to be. It done hurt me.
You used to be so cute when you pouted, and I used to chuckle you under the chin.
Yeah. And then I'd break down and chuckle you under one of your chins.
Oh, Andy, my great big teddy bear.
Oh, Madam Queen, my itty-bitty gumdrop.
Now, wait a minute, Charles. Let me talk.
Come in, Amos. Come on in here.
Well, thank you, Andy. I just dropped over to see how everything turned out about your wedding, boy.
Oh, boy, everything turned out fine, Amos.
Oh, good, Andy. Congratulations. You got rid of Madam Queen, and you're going ahead with your marriage to Theresa.
No, Amos, I got rid of Theresa, and next Sunday I'm marrying Madam Queen.
Oh, what? Oy vey, December 9th, 1951, Amos-n-Andy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now we continue our Christmas tradition with an episode of The Cinnamon Bear. This goes back to December 9th, 1937, and the story of the rhyming rabbit.
Now let's see about Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear. We left them in the magic forest, which they got into by walking through a big picture in the Wintergreen Witch's house. Remember how frightened they were when they met Fee-Fo the giant? And remember how nice he turned out to be, and how he took them to the Goody-Goody Grove for an elegant banquet? But they still had to overtake the Crazy Quilt Dragon, who had stolen the Silver Star again. So they left Fee-Fo and plunged into the forest. And then, all of a sudden, it got pitch dark, and they saw two yellow lights like eyes flashing in the inky blackness.
Do you suppose it's the witch?
Maybe it's some terrible monster.
Oh, it's so dark. And those awful yellow eyes.
Oh, don't be scared, Judy. I'll take care of you.
What was that?
Gee, I wish I knew.
It's so creepy. It's some awful monster. That's his breathing.
Look, it's getting light again.
Sure enough. It must have been magic.
And there's my monster.
Why, it's the Crazy Quilt Dragon.
Can you beat that? And here we were scared like everything.
Looks like he's fainted or something. He's all in a heap.
Yes, but his eyes are wide open. That's what we saw in the dark.
Hey, Crazy Quilt, wake up and hear the birdies.
Here, let me try. I'll tweak his nose for him.
Whoa! Where am I?
Never mind where you are. Where's our Silver Star?
Up to your old tricks again, huh, Crazy
Is this
Quilt?
a dream? Oh.
Now, don't try and pull that stuff. Come on, talk fast. Where's the star?
Star? Oh, I'm so bewildered, Oh, now it all comes back to me. Judy, Jimmy, and Paddy O'Cinnamon, at long last, an end to this nightmare. Is it really you, my friends, or am I still dreaming?
Of course it's us. Who else would it be?
I didn't know. I thought it might be more of the Wintergreen Witch's magic.
Magic?
Yes. Oh, you'll never know what I've been through. Oh, the shame of it all. Oh, agony.
Why don't you stop your infernal moaning and tell us what happened?
Well, to make a short story long, after those pirates sailed away with you, I dashed hither and thither like a mad thing in search of enough corks to make me watertight so I could swim after you.
Did you find them?
Luckily, yes. I stumbled on the requisite 4 barrels of corks, swallowed them hastily, and in I plunged.
And you swam after us all the way?
All the way. A mere nothing, though. By the by, I was backstroke champion last year, you know. And I also hold medals for freestyle swimming, the root beer crawl...
Oh, quit bragging, Crazy Quilt, and get on with your story.
Far be it from me to enumerate my aquatic achievements to an unappreciative audience. Well, anyway, I swam like 10,000 dragons and arrived at the island of Obi in remarkably good time. But when I attempted to land, I was stopped by a wave which I couldn't get through.
Sure, that was the magic wave.
Decidedly. It occupied a great deal of my time, but finally I managed to dive under it and proceeded to the shore. There, to my delight, I saw the Silver Star reposing on the bosom of a roly-poly policeman.
And then you talked him into giving it to you.
I didn't either. I was just about to engage him in casual conversation when, wham, something indescribable overcame me.
Yeah, you just couldn't resist the star. It was so bright and shiny.
Oh, it was terrible. I wasn't myself at all. Some powerful and evil influence seemed to guide me. A voice kept repeating and repeating in my left ear. That's the blue and orange one, you know. Get the star. Come this way. And so, although I wanted to wait for you, in agony I fought to wait for you. This diabolical force kept pulling me.
Sure, just itchy claws. That's all, itchy claws.
Don't interrupt him, Cinnamon Bear.
And to my utter shame, I succumbed to the voice, got the star by pretending you'd sent me after it, and was drawn like steel to a magnet, up the beach, into a house, through the picture frame, into this magic forest, right to the spot where you found me just now. And then, I shudder to think of it.
Well, what happened?
The Wintergreen Witch appeared.
Applesauce. The educated owl said she went to the witches' convention.
A trick, a hoax. This ominous, weird thing stood before me, and then I realized it was she who had exercised this horrible power over me, made me steal the star.
Oh, come now, Crazy Quilt, don't blame it on a lady.
She's no lady. And she made me hand over the precious star, and then I think she must have put me in a short trance, because that's all I remember. Oh, agony.
Jiminy crickets.
Poor old Crazy Quilt.
Sounds fishy to me, that's what it does.
Well, you believe me, don't you, Judy?
Of course I do. Didn't you save us from the Inkaboos?
Sure he did. Say, what did the witch look like, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, hideous, horrible, terrifying. She changed colors all the time. Ugly green, then purple, then blood red. And that nightmare of a face. Great rolling eyes, 3 fangs peering through an ugly slit of a mouth, and...
Stop. I don't think I want to hear any more.
Oh, Judy, if you get scared just by hearing Crazy Quilt talk about that old witch, how are you going to be when we meet her face to face?
I don't want to meet her face to face at all.
Well, that's just what we're going to have to do if we want to get our silver star back.
Sure. Gotta meet her face to face. Gotta be very brave.
That's what I say, though somewhat reluctantly.
I guess I can be as brave as the rest of you. But how are we going to find our way back to the place where we came through the picture frame?
Gee willikers, I hadn't thought about that. These woods all look the same. Do you know which way to go, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry, or maybe dreadfully happy, that I haven't the slightest idea which way to reach the Wintergreen Witch's house. Remember, I've been in a trance or something.
Huh. I wish you'd go back into your trance and shut the door after you. Well, children, I guess there's nothing left to do but follow our noses. Hope we'll find the place where we came in. Come on, let's go.
Looky! Look what just popped up on the other side of that bush.
Why, it's a yellow rabbit, and he's grinning from ear to ear.
Very friendly looking, too. Perhaps he can direct us. I shall accost him in my best Dragonian manner. Greetings, my little woodland wayfarer, my little relative of the blessed Easter bunnikin. Won't you join us?
Oh, look at him hop right over to us.
And now, who might you be?
I'm called the Rhyming Rabbit, 'cause rhyming is my habit.
Listen to him, Jimmy. He talks just like a poem sounds.
Intriguing no end. Tell me, Rhyming Rabbit, what makes you talk in poetry?
I ate a rhyming dictionary, which made me very literary. I rhyme from break of day till sunset because of all the rhymes I once had.
This is all very interesting, but it doesn't help us find our way out of here. If you're so good at rhyming, Mr. Rabbit, perhaps you can tell us how to get to the Wintergreen Witches?
You want to know which way's the witches? It's hard to tell just way which is.
Oh, come, my little poet laureate. You either know or you don't.
That's what I say. Can you show us how to get back to the picture frame?
I'd be most happy to oblige you. Just follow me and I will guide you.
That's grand, Mr. Rabbit. Come on, everybody.
Yeah, one moment, please. Is that a beautiful beehive over there, or am I dreaming?
It's a beehive, all right. Why?
Next to cinnamon buns, there's nothing like honey.
Oh, come on, Patio Cinnamon. I thought you were in a hurry.
Oh, it won't take a minute for a snack. What's that?
If I'm not mistaken, it's a bumblebee, and he's guarding the hive.
Oh, What's a bumblebee? Out of my way, ruffian.
You better mind your own business.
I am. Honey is my business.
Excuse me for the slight intrusion. You'd better mind your P's and Q's and stay away from bumblebees and listen to a bit of reason.
No mere bee's going to stop me. Honey, here I come. He got me. That's right, laugh. Oh, somebody get me a mud puddle quick. And as for you, you rhyming rabbit, don't stand there grinning. I suppose you're going to say I told you so. Well, what do you got to say for yourself, smarty?
You should always let the bumblebee be. You'll never win his friendship, no siree. You may hobnob with a gadfly, though he's more or less a bad fly, but you'd better let the bumblebee be. You can dawdle with a doodlebug or flea. Ah, Katy-did is charming company. You can visit with a cricket or a cockroach in a thicket, but you'd better let the bumblebee be. Just take a bit of sound advice from me and keep away from his vicinity. You may think you'd have a keen time, but he'd sting you in the meantime, so you'd better let the bumblebee be. Ouch! You'd better let the bumblebee be.
What a shame. That bumblebee stung the rabbit, and he wasn't doing a thing either.
Water, water, pour on water. He got me where he hadn't oughter. Never trust a bumblebee, 'cause he'll sting you like he stung me.
He's running away. It serves him right. He laughed when I got stung, didn't he?
But he was going to show us how to get back through the picture frame. What to do now? What to do?
I know. The whistle. The one the giant gave me.
Giant? Oh, I don't like that one little bit. Sounds bad.
Oh, but Fee-Fo's a gentle giant, and he was very nice to us.
Sure, and he gave me this little whistle and said if we ever needed help, just to blow on it 3 times and he'd come a-running.
I'm sure Fee-Fo can help us. Blow the whistle quick, Jimmy.
Okay.
Oh, goodness, Jimmy. That's not loud enough for anyone to hear. Better let me try it. I'm good at wood instruments, you know. Played the tuba in college.
All right, Crazy Quilt. Here it is.
Ah, now watch the old maestro. I place the instrument thus. Inhale. And...
What happened?
Gee willikers. He swallowed the whistle.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. It seems that our friends will never quite get out of trouble. And what's more important, how will they ever get out of the magic forest now that Crazy Quilt has swallowed the whistle? Well, maybe we'll find out next time, so be sure to listen, won't you?
December 9th, 1937, The Cinnamon Bear on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You wanted the entire run of The Cinnamon Bear? Contact Ted at radiomemories.com. He has them all available for you there. radiomemories.com on cassette, CD, or on flash drive for your computer. And while you're floating around on the web, going to visit Ted at radiomemories.com. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand. There's a list of sites that you can download the shows from. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also find our social media links. You can contact me. And if you want to help us expand our classic radio collection or keep our distribution channels open, you can just buy me a coffee. You can do that at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.